This is Anthony Newby, aka Supanova Newb, and we on site with it. Let's get it.
Supanova.
Yeah.
My guy. Pleasure. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Hadn't seen you in a while.
I know.
But it's good to have you on the platform officially.
Good to be back.
Yeah,
officially.
Yes, sir. You doing your thing too. So first of all, let's talk about the name. That's always the first question. Supanova Newb.
Yeah.
I gotta say that fast 3 times. What's the meaning behind the name?
So it's kind of like how I'm rebranding myself. Because when I first started doing music, everybody called me Newb in the Cut. Like I did not make that name up. I did not have nothing to do with that. Everybody just be like, "What up? It's Newb in the Cut." I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right."
You took it and ran with it.
Took it and ran with it because at that time in music, it was like everybody was using their gamer tags or like Twitter handles, or that was kind of the beginning of that. So I was like just running with it. That's what everybody knew me as. I started putting my name on bills as that because that's kind of how I got into the music, just setting up shows first. I was never performing, but end up getting into that. We'll get into that in a little bit, but it's been fun. Just the whole journey in itself has been a trip. But Supanova Newb came last year, really, because I had like started over. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like I had been through some things. You know how you be like, you ain't the same person no more.
Absolutely.
You
Evolution.
to reflect exactly like where you are in life now. So Supanova Newb came to me because it was just like, to me, how I describe it is my last little bit that I'm giving the universe. I'm giving it all I got. You know what I'm saying? You gonna see me in the sky when this shit done. You know what I'm saying? And
nice.
Obviously Newbie is my last name, so I kept that, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, cause somebody told me go with Casanova, and I'm like, I'm cool and shit, but like, I ain't really trying to push the whole Casanova image, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, but I'm Supanova though, like for real. Like you gonna see me shine bright.
And isn't it already a rapper named Casanova? Like, one of the...
I think
it's a general term in the same way, but I think it is a rapper.
Cliche though. That's how I felt. You know what I'm saying? There are some Casanovas out there. Shout out to y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I keep shit pimping on a different level. You know what I mean?
Okay. I dig it.
Yeah.
So the sound, like, I wouldn't even say you're definitely a hip hop artist. You're definitely a rapper.
Yeah.
I've heard some people say that you're their favorite rapper.
Crazy.
So
it's flattering.
Explain the sound. Like, how do you come up with the sound that you produce? Who are your musical inspirations, if you have any?
Well, I definitely got some inspirations as far as like the lyrical part of, what I do. I never thought I'd be rapping at all. Like for real, I like hip hop. I used to hate hip hop. My daddy used to sit me in the back of the car and had them 2,000 watt amps with 215s and 212s and 210s. I'm like, bro, you doing too? I used to hate music, but once I kind of like got around it and was seeing like everything, it was really church too. Like, starting there and then seeing like what goes on behind sound and putting a show together. I was like, wow, it's a lot to this, but you can curate an experience for people that will literally change their lives if you do it right. So
true indeed.
Yeah, that's a big one. The sound though, I would say, cause my homie Cody, shout out to Code. I got to shout my homie Code out, but, Joel Santana, like, him lyrically, I always like his delivery. Straightforward. He got a lot of punchlines, but he's saying a lot. So I took a lot from that. Lyrically, Lupe Fiasco is my favorite rapper. Like real talk. I always just like the fact that he's talking about something that's like bigger than, cash, clothes, and hoes and all that stuff. Like he was really giving you something to incept into your mind and act on. You know what I'm saying? So I really was big on that. I listened to him growing up and I acted on a lot of those things. He was touching some chords in there. It hurt sometimes, but I was like, you know what? Lupe right. I might need to step on some things. You know what I'm saying? And I always wanted to have that. Kid Cudi, obviously. That's my dog. Cause we all went through that little Cudi phase, I feel like. Right. It was like 09, Day and Night coming out. Like we all happy little stoners and shit. Like that was me. And I kind of always been on that side of things. And then, Wiz too. I think the best compliment I ever got actually was I did a show. Somebody was just like, yo, like, you're like a sad Wiz but a mad Cuddy. I was like, that's kind of cool and accurate.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause I can see that, you know what I'm saying? Cause where I come from with a lot of my music, all my music is written by me, you know. The reason it's taking me so long to put it out is because I was doing everything myself, mixing everything myself, learning all these DAWs by myself, like tick for tack. I'm on YouTube every day. I'm meeting any engineer I know, taking any tips, any advice, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it really took me a while to find my sound. I would say I found it in this past year. And that's why I say like now is the rebranding, because I put my first song out under Supanova Newb last year. It's called Meant That, Hear Me Now, produced by John G. Me and him actually got a project together called Trust the Pilot. Y'all check that out for real, because that's just inspirational, you know what I'm saying?
Dope.
And it kind of showcases John G, excellent engineer, excellent producer. Highly recommend y'all tap in for real. That's my brother. But he is a master of curating soulful beats, but the way he builds them is just like the ways we remember. It ain't just like bridge, hook, chorus, whatever. He's like really breaking it down and giving you a feeling all the way out. What Lil Wayne say, let the beat be. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I've been working a lot with him over the years, you know what I'm saying? Different producers. And, you know, I can't wait to get into that too. But the goal has been to kind of bring people into this environment that we're creating. He has a company called Blue Sky House.
Okay.
And that's the goal right there. We wake up, we put God first, and we're praying in every step we take. You know what I'm saying? This ain't gangster. You know what I'm saying? This ain't whatever anybody think it is. This is God working. You know what I'm saying? At all times. I don't never know what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just following my heart and going with it because I got that kind of faith. You feel me?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, he's actually taught me a lot as far as like getting the sound right, because he works more on the beats and stuff. But it inspired me to work more on the vocals, because if you don't have your vocals sitting in a song right, it just don't even hit the same. You know what I'm saying? So I found that in the past year. I work on Ableton a lot. I've worked on Fruity Loops, Pro Tools, Logic, GarageBand, anything you can think of. I've worked on it, but I love Ableton. Shout out to y'all too. I'm trying to get a sponsor me.
we see you right there. That's nice. Yeah.
So like I'm here now to the point. I've made like a little side chain for me. I kind of know what makes my vocals sound good, like how I want them to sound. And what got me there was engineering other people's vocals over the years. There's many songs that I've engineered, y'all, and you wouldn't even believe it. But it's just like, they're like, how you do that with such and such song? And your stuff don't sound like that. I'm like, I just don't want that sound for me. Like a lot of people are into the auto tune and, you know, humanizing their voice and stuff like that. I love it and I'm with it. But for me, it's just like, I like things pure. You know what I'm saying? I like things raw. You know what I mean? Because I can always get the best feeling out of it. You know what I'm saying? I want you to feel like I'm talking to you, or like feel like you listening to me. You know what I mean? Because for me, it's therapeutic. When I'm in that studio or recording anything, doing anything music, I'm in heaven. Like I done died and I'm good for the day. You know what I'm saying? So I love it. I love being in there all day. People can't stand me when I go to the studio because I really be trying to stay up all night. They be like, bro, you paid for like, 48 hours. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to knock it all out too, like now. And it's, no drugs, nothing. It's just like, I'm literally that elated about music. You know what I'm saying? So anybody needs some work, holla at your boy. Don't let that be an excuse, because that's one of the hardest things is I used to go out and record. Like, I think y'all had this conversation on OnSight. I thought it was great because people need to know this if you want to do music. If you're paying to go to a studio, that's fine. That's dandy. But if you have no knowledge before you going in there, you killing yourself. You shooting yourself in the foot, because you need to have a purpose anywhere you go with anything you do in life. So if you're going to the studio, like I'm going to a studio, Hilltop Studios soon to mix my project in the club coming soon. But once I am in the studio with these people, it's a purpose. It's just like, hey, let's listen to the project all the way through. Let's not even talk. You know what I'm saying? That might take an hour right there. Then after we get done, okay, what was the notes you took versus the notes I took, And then I'm saying, okay, this person thinks this snare could, be a little tighter, or this could be a little better, or I need to rechange some words, or this ain't sitting well, or whatever. And I can at least consider it. You don't have to do everything everybody's telling you to do. No, but you should have quality people around you giving you constructive criticism.
Absolutely.
And as a man or a woman or whatever, you cannot take it personal. What for real say, he said, take note and take it professionally. You know what I'm saying? For real. When somebody's telling you something and you get slighted about it, shut up right then. Just be quiet and take it all in, because it's just hitting a part of you that you ain't even really explored yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's scary or whatever, but once you face it, you're going to be a better man for it, and you're going to have more skills off of that. So, take the criticism, y'all, for real. Don't ever think somebody hating on you. I love that, because I've been gone from Sanford for so long. But every time I'm hearing about Sanford, it's like, oh, this person don't like this person's music. Or I'm like, cool, like, what's the problem? Like, if anything, this should be opening more doors, because me saying, hey, I don't like your music because of this. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to be a nothing, whatever name because of that. No, like, if we in competition, because I'm a competitor, like, at the end of the day, you in the studio with me, I'm thinking, like, we about to make a track now. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you came for, but what's good?
Right.
And I feel like everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people like that competitive spirit. Like, they want to be the best, but they don't realize they're going to have to, like, slash 1,000 people to get there. And it ain't going to be pretty. You're going to have blood all over your guts. Hair going to be out. I done lost a lot of hair over the years. But I'm back now.
You just dropped some major nuggets. What I took from what you just said was, sonically, you pay attention. Mm-hmm. You have an actual interest in your music and the business side of it. You want to know what's going on, mm-hmm. even if you're not the person that is actually creating it, mm-hmm. but you are able to create your standard, your sound yourself, because you took the time mm-hmm. to learn the softwares, learn how to mix and engineer.
Yeah.
And then you can take constructive criticism well.
Yeah.
Like,
I love haters. I love it. If you hate me, I love it. I'm just asking that you please bring it to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't got to hate me with your friends and all that. Bring your friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want everybody to hate me to be in the room so we can talk about it. Because if it makes people feel better getting those insults out or whatever, cool. Because people normally don't get past that. You know what I'm saying? You just want to talk junk about somebody and either them not really know about it or, them not be in the room. So if they do come to you about it, you can actively deny it because they won't dare, right?
Right.
But nah, I'm all for it. It's just like, people come to me all the time, such and such says this, such. I'm like, that's fine. They know me. They know that they can come to me. This is me being open as can be, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, come to me. You know what I mean? I got solutions. I ain't got no problems over here at all.
That's another gem. Don't have problems, have solutions. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, that's what any business, that's what any person is looking for. We have a problem.
Yeah.
And we're looking for a solution to our problem. That's like, even as me as a video creative, my number one objective is to solve people's problems.
Right.
So, that's
you do
big.
A great job.
I appreciate that, sir. I definitely appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
What's your opinion on the way that a lot of the industry or the new age rappers, if I'm saying this, nobody misquote me on this, but the new wave of rappers, the younger generation, the way their process is what's called the punch-in method.
Yeah.
Right? And I think we came up in an era of where you get with the producer, you get the beat, or you jot down your lyrics in a notepad, and then you go to the studio and you find the beat that kind of fits what you wanted to say. Mm-hmm. So what's your opinion on, like, which method is better in your opinion?
Punching in is good if you have your own studio. And the reason I say that is a lot of people, this drug culture kind of took over. There's nothing wrong with drug culture. Like, it's been around since the beginning of man, but it's the excessiveness. Once you get hedonistic about things, you can't just deny the fact that it's taking your value down. Like, I can do a song right now. I'm sober. But if I drink a bottle of liquor, I'm not going to sound the same. I'm not going to be looking the same with the mic. It's a different feel. I could be smoking a lot or whatever, and I be stoned on stage. Like, it's different aesthetics for different things. And that's why I say if you're going to punch in, do it at the house. Because most people punching in aren't coming into the studio with the purpose that I'm talking about, right? Because it might be like, I need to hear the beat before I even know. You know what I'm saying? You hear the beat and they punching in like boom, boom, boom. That's why I respect it, because I'm like that. You put a beat on in front of me, I can write a song like that. But it's just not, you know, I might give it a couple days. You know what I'm saying? I might be like, all right, you know, was I really feeling like that? Or like, was that just how I was feeling in the studio? Like, was I drunk or was I this or was I that? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I try to put it in a category. And that is funny that you say that, because I put things in categories. Like, this project I'm about to release is called In the Club.
Okay.
It's part of my In the series, I guess you can call it. But my first project was In the Cut. And then I had In the Cold, and this is going to be my third full project, In the Club. And basically the aesthetic of this is coming out of all these dark times, like in the cold or whatever, being homeless, having nothing, grinding, scratching, clawing to survive, you know what I'm saying? To having and still being in a position of like In the Club is more so like I'm where I want to be as a man, but now I'm dealing with women who, you know, it's either you here or you there. And it's a wonderful thing. I can't wait to put it out because it's very provocative. You know what I'm saying? People are going to be talking junk about this too, but I love it. I love to spark those kind of flames in people. You
Absolutely.
know what I'm saying? I want to talk about it. You know what I mean? But it's more so of like, when I was thinking of it In the Club, I'm like, I want to be in a zone where I've been drinking, you know? You know that I don't know if anybody can relate, but then 4 o'clock in the mornings and you just sitting there with your glass at the house, like, man, what am I doing? You know what I'm saying? What happened? Or me and her used to be so tight. Like, what happened? Or like, I used to love this girl. Like, why are we not talking? You know what I'm saying? Like, those moments, you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of catching it, and it's kind of cool because one side of it is very freaky, very erotic, very sexual. You know what I'm saying? I sprinkle a lot of consent in there, y'all. You feel me? Consent is all up in there. But then the other kind of half of it is realizing I don't want these kind of relationships with women. You know what I'm saying? If it's going to be something, then it's going to be this. And you either with that or you're not. And I feel like by the end of that project, the part of me that will be like exposed will be like, women can't play with me no more. I've been a lover boy. I've been, anybody that know me know I'm a lover and I'm a fighter too. But it's just like with the women, they view me as like, it's been weird because I haven't had a lot of girlfriends. But when I get close to women that I'm liking, I really want to be their friend first. So it's just like that line nowadays get blurred because the things I do for my friends is top tier. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make sure we surviving and living long lives, and you know what I'm saying?
Right.
All the kids get to be great, and you know, all of that. I want to be a part of all of that. But it's big dreams to have for small minds. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, I wanted to be a husband my whole life, but in my 20s, that wasn't cool. You know, everybody wanted to have fun and do their thing. And I mean, do that. You know what I'm saying? But I can't sacrifice who I am to conform, because then I'm going to be 33 like I am now, trying to dog everybody out. That ain't where I want to be.
So basically, you're not riding the wave of the fads and the trends. You are authentically you.
Yeah.
See, that's another nugget. I hope people just picked up on that.
Yeah, for real. Do not be scared to be you. Like, you are what the universe wants. Like, people are only in your vicinity. You know what I'm saying? There are people in other countries that rock with me hard. You know what I'm saying? They don't even know English for real. I'm like, man, like, how did you find my music? And it's just like, yo, this DJ at a Ukraine party played my stuff. He's just like, yo, like, you got an album? I'm like, wow. You know, like, you never know who's looking. You never know who's watching. And I'm horrible. I will say this on camera. I'm horrible about the social aspect of things. I'm very introverted, believe it or not. I seem like a good time when I'm out, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm around people that I want to be around. Yeah. But I'm very introverted. I like being at the house. I like being in my room. I like books. I like reading. I like crosswords. You know what I'm saying? I will be okay. I can cook at the house. So it works for me having a home studio, being able to record at home, not being under the pressure of like, oh, I paid for these hours. Like, I got to get the most out of these people. Because that's what hurts the most. Like, I walk into most places with a bigger work ethic. So I'll pay for anybody's help or work. But it's just like, if I'm going into your space and I'm working harder than you, like if I came in here with a camera and was just like, nah, bro, I got it. Like, that'd be crazy. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't have to do that at any time. And I'm not judgmental of it, but if you can't take criticism, like you said, right, that's an attack. You're like, oh man, you can't tell me how to do my job. And it's just like, bro, I work with people who do this for Hollywood. Like, I can tell you some things, you know what I'm saying? You just gotta be willing to hear it or be open to it. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do it, just be open to it.
Absolutely. I mean, constructive criticism is how we grow. That's, well, speaking personally, that's a way that has helped me grow tremendously in expanding my knowledge, because just because I went to film school doesn't mean I know every single aspect. I think experience is the greatest teacher. Once you go through something, then that's ultimately what teaches you.
Right.
Like reading it in a book, that's just one thing, but then it has to be applied in real time
There you go.
in order for you to experience it and get the most out of it. So nah, that's big. That's
Don't
big.
Be scared to the experience either, y'all. Like,
absolutely. And there are no
jump head first. I done jump head first into everything. That's why I'm here now, because it's like I grew up in Sanford, y'all. I love this town. A lot of people don't. They gonna say what they want to say about it. I don't care. I love this place. Greatest place to raise your kids. You know what I'm saying? We just got to come together as people, because we're really almost there. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we've been almost there for years, you know. But I'm back now to bring that together. I want to open a door for people to just be like, you know, you love to do music, but you can't get in the studio. Cool. Like, I can get you in the studio.
Right.
You know, for what, like, we can talk budgets. We can talk no money at all. You know what I'm saying? But let me know where you at. Don't be scared to say, hey, I'm broke. I can't even get Subway tomorrow. I got bills to pay like this week, bro. Like, I'm going to be in debt for the next 3 months. You know what I'm saying? Let me know. You know what I'm saying? Because I can plan around anything, and we are people. We're human. You know what I'm saying? As long as we giving each other 100%, you don't lose anything, because it's just like we almost missed it again today. You know what I'm saying? But it's the communication. It's like, hey, you know, this is going on. I know it's last minute, whatever. Hey man, I know I got some stuff going. You know what I'm saying? It's communication. Like, we can't hold no grudges or nothing like that.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
And believe me, we've had this in the pocket for a minute, and I've been with other people, right? I've been around the nation. I got deposits sitting everywhere with engineers, with people who do videos, just because I'm like, yo, I'm going to be back. And when I come back, I need you ready. You know what I'm saying? Because meeting somebody, you know, on a whim, they're just gonna get that first impression, and that might be like, oh man, this is the next big thing, or this guy is this or that, whatever. But once you get in and see what that guy consists of, oh, now you got some decisions to make. You got to be like, am I really gonna work this hard? Like, am I really gonna be up for the next 12 hours, like looking at the screen? Yeah. Like, do you really want this? Like, because that's the question. Like, I can look at that question every day and be like, yes, I want it. Bring it on. How many days we gonna be up?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
The things that are
getting it done.
The things that are most important to us, we definitely put time, energy, and effort into. So no, it's another gem. It's another gem.
I didn't know for the longest. I'd say my purpose with all this just really came because this will be October. It'll be 10 years I've been doing music. So I really wanted to reflect everything that I've got hours of music, you know what I'm saying? Videos and stuff like that. I've never even put out, but it's because I want to package it in a way that, like I said, that reflects me. And we're in this social media era. So you really, if you want to make a push for real, you got to get people to click on what you got, you know what I'm saying? Or they got to want to invest in it, right?
Absolutely.
And that's what you got to think about everything when you're posting things. Put more than one picture up or more than two pictures up. Give them something to slide through and share more of, you know what I'm saying? Or like your music in general, I got it kind of streamlined. I think I used DistroKid this time when I was doing Supanova Newb because I'm working on like solidifying my actual music business, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know how to package this all. I'm really putting it under subcontracting, you know what I'm saying? Because I do a lot, y'all. You need your gutters clean, you need your plumbing done, you need your yard done. I do all of that. You feel me? Anything you need, I got you. I can get it. You know what I mean? But except for playing, I ain't been on that yet, you know. But it's coming. I'm getting my pilot license soon. You feel me?
Oh yeah, you working. You
know, you got to have dreams, and that's the thing. You can live all your dreams, y'all. Like it's so hard when you stuck in a place that you feel like don't know you. You know what I mean? That's why I left, really, because I'm like, man, people love me and everything, and I love everybody, but y'all love this image of me that y'all seeing like a sliver. It's like looking through a peephole. I want you to open the door.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you might not like me if you know everything. You know what I'm saying? But I've always been an open book. You know, even now, there's nothing I got to hide or nothing like that. But during that time, I would say when I started doing music, I'm gonna go ahead and tell it. Like, since we're here.
Let's do it. It's on site.
Yeah, it's on site with it. So back in 2014, I was doing show promotion. So I just had a bunch of homies in Boone, whatever. They had their own collectives and they would do shows. But it got to a point where like I saw this vision. There was only like 3 bars there then that was doing shows. So I was like, yo, what if we all came together and we all booked a venue every weekend, you know? Like have everybody in a spot. So we know we're getting all of that money. We know we all going back to the same house tonight and whatever, crash on couches or whatever, but we can pool the money and get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? So that, like I went to my first show, it was at Black Cat Burrito, y'all. Shout out to Black Cat. They still up. But it was this venue was maybe big enough for like 50 people, you know, little bar, little eating space, but they had like extra space that they didn't use. Then my homie called me. He was like, yo, such and such dropped out. We're looking for another opener. He was just like, we know you got a couple songs because I engineered some with their music.
Right.
They was just like, come do a couple songs. I'm like, okay, low key scared. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't never performed in front of nobody. I don't write songs for everybody to hear them and stuff like that. But I came up in there, had all my homies on stage. I did 3 songs because they was just like, just do a 10, 15 minute set. That's all we need. I'm like, cool. I did 1 song. And then after they heard that first song, everybody was going crazy. Like, I think the song was Underlay. Like, if you go on my little, you know, music, I just dropped that on the In the Club EP called Club Ticket. And they was really loving that. And they was like, cool. I'm like, okay. They was like, bro, give it to them. So I did it again. Boom. I'm like, all right. They wanted it again. I did that song 3 times back to back. Before I knew it, my set was over, right? So they was like, bro, you got 2 more songs. Go ahead. Did those. I'm talking about just opened it up, like best opening ever. And I think, I can't remember. I think JK the Reaper was in town. Like he was really like the big name. And shout out to him because I think he comes out of Greensboro. He's from North Carolina, but like he does a lot now. He's, you know, big time in my eyes because he got a movie in that Pete Davidson film. He got a song in there. I was like, good shit, you know what I mean?
Dope. Absolutely.
Yeah. So people connected and that show set me off. I walked out of there soaking wet. We probably fit about 250 people in that little place. It was like a mosh fest. The show ends. I'm elated. I'm like, oh my God, like what just happened? All these people around me, they just like treat me like a superstar. You know what I'm saying? I was like, this might be the life for me. And after that, we went on tour in the area in like North Carolina for 6 months. So from August to like February, we had shows every weekend popping. Like it was crazy. And that just allowed me to see how big it could be, you know what I mean? But back then I was definitely living a little different. And I'ma just say like I really couldn't put my life out there like that. You know what I'm saying? That was for the homies, you know what I'm saying? I can spit this with y'all because like it's real and it's like damning almost, you know what I'm saying? So I don't want to just be like, yeah, like I'm out here doing, you know what I'm saying, whatever. And then that's how you get attention, the wrong attention, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And thank God I've been through a lot of things, but I made it through any of that. You know what I mean? And I've seen a lot of people fall along the way and that's okay. And that's what really kept me away from music for so long. Cause, shout out to Gunna, man, Mike Rollins. He really introduced me to music. I want everybody to know that though, for real. Like he had a studio space off of Chatham and Steel or whatever by the Steel Pig. And, I was in community college. Shout out to my brother, Travis Jackson. He be doing music too, but, he was working at that studio and my mom wouldn't pick me up from school because I was still on that tight time. Right. So she was just like, nah, you're going to have to find a way today. And I was like, man, so he kind of took me up on his wing, took me to the studio. This is my first time. I'm around some other cool characters that I won't mention right now, but like, He was in the studio on that Quird, you feel me? He
Mhm.
was just like, oh man. He was just like, you about to get in the studio? I'm like, nah, I did not come here to record. But it was so crazy because I used to be in class writing things while the teacher was teaching. Like I do my work, but I'd always write a little freestyle in class, just, you know, whatever, how I was feeling. And I had one with me that day. So he was just like, yeah, like get in the studio, record it. And that was the first time I had been in the studio, recorded it. It was like a one take. I mean, I didn't even know I had that in me, you know what I'm saying? But just being around cool people. Came out, everybody like, dog, that was fly. Like, that's like, you gonna put that on? So I was like, nah, bro, like, I'm only doing this with y'all. And they was just like, you know what, Newb? You got to get up out of town. Because they already knew what I was around. They were just like, yeah, you got to get up out of here, man. Like, you got to go to school and do this. And I had no intentions of going to school past community college. The only reason I went there because I had a basketball scholarship. Shout out Coach Collins, Coach Cherry, Coach Connor, Coach Hurd, all of y'all. For real, there was some men that made me right there. You know what I mean? Shout out to CC.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, for real. And shout out to Andy too. I saw he used to coach over there at CC too. I ain't see that in your bio.
Yeah,
But
he's the head coach for Grace now.
yeah. Congratulations, brother, for real. Like that's gonna be good for the city. I really feel like. But those people taught me a lot as far as becoming a man and realizing that I did want more. Like I tell people this all the time. Growing up, no brothers, sisters, only child. You know, parents weren't there. I didn't have dreams of my own, really. Like I would watch TV and be like, oh, that's cool, Hawaii. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't thinking like, I want to take a trip to Hawaii and I'm going to do this to make it happen. Like that's where I'm at now. You know, it took a long time, but through those experiences, like after that, I did leave town. I went to Appalachian State. I met my homies at the lake. Shout out to the lake. Cause I didn't take music seriously still. It was one of them things where I'm literally just sitting on the couch, freestyling with my homies on a Friday night, whatever. And then one night they put it in my ear. They was like, yo, journal kind of fire, bro. Like you should record. And I was like, well, how are we going to do that? You know what I mean? Cause they knew me. I didn't want to leave the house except for school, work. That's it. I ain't trying to get in no trouble. I'm living another life now. So they was like, we can build one. I was like, what we need to build one? They was like, you know, some wood, some soundproof. And I was like, boom. Went to Lowe's the next day, bought it. You feel me? Built a studio in the house. Now it's literally like 6 by 3 by like 3. So it's literally like a phone booth. You know what I'm saying? Hot as hell.
You don't need much to record. You just need to be creative and have a mindset to stay creative.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what it was. We was taking eggshell cartons from work because we worked at the school cafeteria.
Hustle and flow. Gotta love it.
Like we was just making it happen. And those are the guys that introduced me to Ableton and my guy, Eric Blackledge. He's a great producer. I don't know what you're doing these days, boy, but you need to get to it. But he literally was a genius. Like he could get on any pen or any pads, any keys, have you a beat, 5 minutes, like for real. He made 4 of our beats for the Life on the Lake project in literally 20 minutes, back to back. He just made it seem like a DJ session. I was like, bro, you are outrageous. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
And I was around these like savants, you know what I'm saying? Like they're really good at what they do, but they're lacking the passion. So it was like we was feeding each other. I got the passion all day, but you just need the kick, you know what I'm saying? And then I can't do what you do on that thing, but I'm a student. So every time I'm learning, every time I'm soaking in, hey bro, why'd you go from C to A or why'd you go from G to H? Or you know what I'm saying? Everything, you know what I'm saying? Or how did you get this to go and this, you know, everything. And over time, I just learned it and soaked it up. What kept me like distracted though was knowing that this was my passion. And this is a lot of people's thing too. And I want to speak on that, but just once you have a true passion, everything else is a distraction. Everything, like it is. And it's not to say it's good or bad. People got kids, people got families, people got responsibilities. That is always number one. And if you want to alleviate that half of your work, you have to make great decisions. You know what I'm saying? You have to make the best decisions at all times. Because even right now, I don't have no kids. It ain't for lack of action. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like I have a purpose. Like I be telling people straight up, like, I'm not the family guy right now. Or, you know what I'm saying? This ain't what I'm doing right now. Or if this is what you want to do, just know I got this going on. You know what I'm saying? And you really got to choose yourself every time. And
absolutely.
We know what that feels like. Anytime somebody presents you with something and you feel like if you do it, it's going to take you this way. And if you don't, things might stay the same forever. You have a executive decision to make. You know what I'm saying? Because you already know what's over here. Ain't nothing going to change. But this is all to change. And everything you don't know on the other end and everything you can't account for. I was talking to my friend a while ago, and as humans, we always go to a worst case scenario. It's normal, but you can't live in a worst case scenario. You can't be like, oh, well, if I get in my car, you know what I'm saying? I might hit 65 and hit a wobble and hit a, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, all of that might happen, but you get in the car anyway and go wherever you want to go, not even thinking twice or thanking the Lord for it, because you just ready to go. You know what I'm saying? No, you gotta move with a purpose before you even get in the car. Lord, where are we going? You know what I'm saying? Like, I need you to get me there safely, please. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this is not meant for me, you know, cause give me something to not.
Oh yeah, you gonna get some signs and wonders. It's just, do we pay attention to it? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And we know those little, like the little decisions we make are that big. And I just want everybody to know that. Like, every time you think you're about to say, oh, I'll do this, just, you know, it ain't no big deal. Think about it. Think about, if you save that energy, what would you invest it in? Or if you didn't spend your time and money going to this restaurant and stayed in and bought something off T-Move for $50, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever.
Yep.
It's like, you're still got to invest in yourself. You got to think like, what's going to feed me and the person I'm becoming? So I done blew a lot of money trying to figure that out, y'all, for real. Go ahead and take that one too.
We've all done that. We've all done that.
Mm-hmm.
So this move, like, you're originally from Sanford,
mm-hmm.
and you moved halfway across the United States. I think you're close to the West Coast now, the Midwest.
Times.
So
yeah, I just came from Colorado. I was staying out there this past year because, like I said, it's been a rebranding phase. I had been working in North Carolina for so long, and anybody knows, like me, anybody that knows me knows that I spent a lot of time investing into a lot of people who are great now at what they do. And I will never take no credit. Like, I don't want the credit. You know what I'm saying? It's just like not those people only, but people need to realize that nobody's self-made. Nobody. Like, nobody's out here doing this on their own, bro. For real. It is so hard. I do a lot on my own, and it is extremely difficult, and everybody ain't built like me, you know? So I don't expect that out of most people. But when you do have the resources, share them with the people who are, you know, sharing your road. Don't just, you know, if you got money, don't just be going to the strip club because you ain't doing nothing but paying rent for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? You could do that outside of the strip club. You know what I mean?
True indeed.
It's just like you have to move with a purpose. If I know I'm working with somebody, you got a camera. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't have a camera. I'd rather pay you to take that load of the work, and then, like, say we're doing I got a photographer, you know what I'm saying? I want him to do the photos though. He's going to take that load. You ain't got to jump from video to photo to audio to this. You ain't got to do all that. Let's work together and bring it together and then push it as a collective piece of art. Everybody wants to see what they can get out of Tim and then see what they can get out of Larry and then be like, oh, I did that. Dang, bro. Like, that's cold. Like, you just cut off your whole blessings because you really don't know the resources that those people have. They just had what you needed, right?
Right.
So now that you up at that next level, you thinking you got everything you need, not knowing you still need all of this. And those people still have access to it, but you don't cut them off because you like, I did it. I can do it. I got it. Like, okay, you go ahead and break your neck and your legs and all that out there because that's what it does to you. And it's not fun. That starving artist is real. You know what I'm saying?
Very real.
If you really love what you're doing in art, there is no money in it. Like, for real. Like, unless you really get in with some politicians and stuff and know how to get a dealer for your art, you know, sell that for a couple billions. But that's a whole different market. That's not what we're doing. And I guess we could, you know, barely mention it, but that's kind of what not Bitcoin, but the, you know, open sea things is about. Like those little memes that you can buy, and it's just like digital art. And
what is the NFC coin? I don't
NFTs.
NFTs.
Yeah.
NFTs.
And that was a great idea, but it's just like, it's only a great idea if we have the technology for it and, you know, stuff like that, because there's no way to really make something like last forever on a digital realm unless we was forever running on some kind of unlimited source of power. But, you know, that's another one. But maybe we'll get there. Maybe we'll get there soon.
Yeah, absolutely. No, man, powerful interview. I would nickname you the hood preacher right now, because the knowledge that you were dropping definitely comes from a spiritual place. I've heard a lot of these same messages just presented in a different way inside of a church from a pastor. It's all God. Absolutely. We are all connected to a higher source, regardless of what we believe in. So
got to tap in, and we scared, we're distracted, because there's a million things every day to distract us. You know what I'm saying? But I wake up, I thank God first. You got to let God run your whole program. You know what I'm saying? God read, writes, and shares all my life. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to move without that. You know what I'm saying? If I ain't feeling like that today, I know it's me. You know what I'm saying? Like I know it's not like, oh, this problem God has with me or nothing like that. It's not even that deep. It's just like, I need to always work on fixing myself. I'm hurt. I've been hurt. I've unhealed parts of myself. Even if I feel, you see me, I feel great. I don't feel like it's nothing to fix, but I try. I reach for it every day. I want to be a better man. I want to do better. And that's what this is about. Now that I'm back in North Carolina, in the area, and with the mind I have now, I want to help people, but I know how to help people now. There is no more the freely giving anything. I don't mean like free, like money. It's just like, I used to be like, you could be a little interested in something, and I'm like, oh, well, come on in. I can teach you this. And realizing that people don't have the passion, I realized that's where I was messing up. I only can work with people who are as passionate as me, and that's just real. So just think about why you're doing it. A lot of people do it for no reason, or it's fun or whatever. I do, I'm not trying to be famous or nothing like that. It's therapeutic. I love music. It helps me like vent. I want my friends to hear it, because I'm like, y'all might not have known this about me. You know what I'm saying? Right. Check this out. You feel me?
You said something truly powerful just a second ago. It is that nothing is truly free. And I think a lot of us misinterpret that. Like, it's not always about fiat currency, but we don't look at the time, the energy that we put into whatever it is we're doing. If it's the cameras, if it's the music, like it definitely cost you something. And and those decisions are
always that important. Like, you think like people do it every day, jump in a car, right? We just going to the store, right? Next thing you know, you slapped with 5 charges. Why? You know what I'm saying? Because you won't even think, and like, that's a possibility. If I get in a car with somebody I don't know, or somebody that I haven't cleared what they got going on for the day, like, you have no control over the situation. Then you're going to end up in a situation where you have no control. And then what? You're going to be just sad, just sitting there, like waiting on somebody to save you. And it's just like, now you got time to think about all the time you could have spent saving yourself. And that's the balance of it. Like, it sucks to hear it out loud, but that's real life. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to make any decision where I'm going to have to sit there and be like, dang, I knew I was feeling like that for years. I knew I had these demons in me for years, and I just won't, catering to it or whatever. And now here I am, done had one bad day that defines the rest of my life. Wow. Can't do nothing but sit with it. That's real.
Can't do nothing but sit with it.
Yeah.
That is
pray
powerful.
every day, because I got a short temper. I might not look like it. I got a short temper. I can stub my toe and be ready to punch holes in the wall and all that. But
I want to expand on that just a little bit, just because, not just because of what I do, but again, how you said it's important to tap into your spirituality. And I think we don't see that enough, or that message isn't pushed enough into the mainstream because of, for me, the if I'm saying this word right, the implications of what it will do to a person's mind. It will release that stronghold, that control, that programming that they have over us, if we have the ability to think for ourselves. So, like, I don't even know if I formed that into a question, but how important it is to pray.
Writer, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we're the ones relaying the information, right? Somebody's writing it. Like, and when you think about, like, you don't believe in God, okay, it's you. You're making the decisions. Think about it though.
Right.
Like, Have you made every right decision for yourself?
Absolutely not.
But that's God talking right there. Absolutely not.
Yeah,
That's God
absolutely.
talking right there. You gotta listen sometimes. Like it come right to you and be like, yo, ask yourself the question. You don't know these things about yourself. So when you're getting that response, like, should I go to the candy store today? No, nigga, you got 3 cavities. It's just like that. Oh, okay. Yes, I do. And am I still gonna get these Skittles today? Maybe. You know what I'm saying? But that's me choosing, right? Now I'm choosing. Now I'm playing with, I call that playing with God. I try not to do too much. And it for me, it's that serious. From the bag of Skittles to, dang, like, what should I do about this situation that could hurt feelings? Or like, should I be quiet or should I say what I got to say? Like, that's the biggest thing for me. I'm very blunt and straightforward. And it took me a while to realize everybody's not like that. Like, you can't just speak to everybody straight on and be like, hey, like, you don't look good today. Like, you look like you need some more sleep and put on some different clothes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it don't work for everybody like that. So I had to rein it in and realize that even though I would say something because I do care about you and I do love you, it's better for me to sit back and see how much you actually love yourself first, because I might be doing too much.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
Because if you're not waking up and seeing the things that I see in you, oh my God, this is a beautiful person, but she's not had her coffee yet, or not, you know what I'm saying? Not, or something pissed her off before she went to bed, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? That's not her, or that's not him, or that's not them. Let me sit back and wait to see that moment where they be like, you know what? I'm gonna make me some coffee. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Sometimes we absolutely have that inspiration for a person, but they might not be ready to receive it, just like you said, because they didn't have their coffee, or mentally they are not in the space to absorb the information that we are there to present. Mm-hmm. So,
and when you letting God run you and you get that rejection, you got to realize that, like, that's bigger for them than trying to save them. You see what I'm saying? Once people, I tell everybody this, there will come a day where you wake up and weep because of how good God been to you. Like, for
Absolutely.
real, you just wake up, like, it might happen for you someday. You just wake up some days and you're like, oh my God.
Oh, it happens for me often. Like, I don't even have to sit here and play with you. Like, the things that I've been through, we could turn this whole interview into church.
You're right.
Like,
for real.
No, I've seen the power. Mm-hmm. I've seen things manifest in my life. Even for me sitting here, looking at these cameras, like, it was a point in time where I'm walking in snow piles on a college campus at 3:00 in the morning, just saying, God, just allow me the ability to provide for my family off the things that I love to do, which is the arts and crafts. And I sit here about 7 years later and I'm doing exactly that. Yeah. And the way that it happened was just incredible. Yeah. So now, this ain't my interview though.
I know, man. That's a testimony though.
It absolutely
that speaks on, like, just how strong, like, your connection becomes with God. Like, God ain't so just like, God is always around, whatever you want to call it, whatever. We all the same thing. But, like, once you have that moment with yourself, it's better to be like, you letting God use you and you're loving openly and you get pushed back, because you can always come back to, I know somebody love me so much, like, nothing matters. Like, you could throw tomatoes at me. I'm good. Like, God is great. Like, this is so cool, But at the same time, when that person wakes up one day and they realize how many times God was saying,
absolutely.
And they say, oh my God, like, I've been pushing all my blessings away. I've been pushing everything away. Boy, that's an emotional moment, because it's just like, oh my God, I've been praying for years about having this or having that, and it was already there for you. But you was in control, right?
I did not pay attention to the signs and wonders.
Accountable for that.
Absolutely.
Like, I came around, or I found my peace, and nah, bro, nah. Like, you was wilding. You was missing God first, and then one day you did. Yeah, it changes just like that. Because I'm telling you, I grew up in church. My mama was a minister. My grandma was a minister, and I grew up in the church, hardcore. And I thank God for that. But I didn't soak up everything. I think I should have soaked up. Like, looking back on it, I've read the Bible. I've read all of these. I went to school for psychology and religious studies, right?
Mhm.
So even when I was in school, I'm in some kind of scriptures every day, like every day.
Right.
So, but with that being said, it kind of like opened my whole mind up to the world's kind of outlook on being human, right? I was like, wow, we're all trying to wake up and love our families and love the people close to us and take care of each other and take care of the world around us. But what happens, right? Because I'm like, we all do that. But what happens, right? Because it don't happen, obviously, in a day because where the world at, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm like, we get distracted. So look at your distractions, you know what I'm saying? Wake up and think about, yo, what's really taking me away from being the best person I can be? You know what I'm saying? That cigarette or that drink or whatever. Just put it down for a little bit. Just see what comes to you. You know what I mean? There's a lot to fill in the void. We just can't see it, you know?
That's powerful. That's powerful. Man, this has been a dope interview, bro. We let's play. Yeah. Let's play
Okay.
Who You Got.
All right. I like this.
And I feel like, well, I could be wrong. I'm not even gonna give my assumption of what I feel like you listen to, but I'm just gonna
I listen to everything.
Yeah. And I know you're a little older, not a little older, but you've been around hip hop for a while. So collectively I can throw out different artists. So let's put this is really what makes it fun too. Let's put the conscious guys up against each other. So
Okay.
would you go, and you've already said Lupe is your top, so I'm gonna keep him out of the equation, but would you go Big Crit, or I don't even know who to compare Crit to, and I think I like Crit
Yeah,
that
I love
much.
Crit. Yeah, I'm about to say he definitely
Crit is definitely a
inspiration underground.
Absolutely.
I'm big on a lot of underground rappers too, because I came up underground. That's how I even learned about music.
Okay, so Crit or Nas?
Man,
We got to
that
make
is
it tough.
toughie.
We got to make it tough.
That's a toughie. I'm gonna say Nas off of just because of what he's doing recently to kind of add to his discography and stuff
Absolutely.
like that. Like,
Absolutely.
because it would definitely be very even, just of Crit's work from like 2000 to now versus like Nas's work up until like 2010. But like with this, him working with Hit Boy and all of that, like Nas just dropped like 3 great immaculate albums.
Yeah,
recently.
with the King's Disease. Yeah,
God.
that whole disology.
Yeah. Have you ever heard Distant Relatives?
I probably have.
That's Nas and Damian Marley. That's probably one of my favorite albums of all time, to be real. That's crazy call, but like.
I have heard that project.
Yeah.
I have. I remember that one. Yep.
Yeah. And that's why I give it to Nas, because he's also worked with other artists too, like collectively, like collaboratively, where he's working with producers now. You know what I'm saying? It's not just Nas. It's like Nas and Hit Boy or Nas and Damian.
I mean, Nas is definitely in a different category simply because you don't have too many hip hop guys that have the ability to work with some of the top jazz artists.
Yeah.
Specifically for me, Amy Winehouse.
Oh,
So-
man. If you heard Lupe's last album, though?
I haven't heard Lupe's last album unless you're talking about the one that he did on the on GarageBand. I do remember that. Okay,
Yeah, it's called Samurai.
Dope.
Definitely check that out.
Dope. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to bump that as soon as we finish
That's
up
what's
here.
cool about talking about it, though, because it's just like real hip hop people would know that and
Right.
make these connections. But for some, we're in an age of music now where those people are doing it and they're 40. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, yo, it don't stop.
And I think that comes back to the whole, because we went through a period of hip hop is dead. Hip hop is not dead. Hip hop just evolved, and the industry started pushing other narratives to the forefront. But the music that you truly love, that you grew up listening to, these artists and other artists, new artists, are making those same type of records. It just may be a little harder to research or find unless,
Right.
you're really
I hate that, though.
up to speed
People
and you
don't be
really
doing the original. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's what I
absolutely.
don't like. Like, there's a lot of songs. Cash Cobain is killing it right now, right? Like, but a lot of his samples, people don't even know where they coming from originally. They just think like he in the studio, like we
Right.
putting this together. It's just like, no, bro. Like these drums are like 25 years old. Like some of these beats that they putting together are
Absolutely.
like from producers that have been in the game for like 20, 30 years already. So it's just like, they're really geniuses, you know what I'm saying? Putting it all together, because you got an audience that has no idea where the music comes from. Like we know the tunes we like. I heard I'm your Pusher Man the other day. Tell me when that thing don't come on, you just don't.
Oh yeah, you want to go back to the
Shake Some Dice or something.
Who was that? I don't remember the original. Was it Curtis Mayfield or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Classic records. So I'm not even gonna compare any. I'm just gonna ask the question. Like, I think female hip hop is definitely in the forefront, and I'm not speaking of course, I can't disrespect or ignore the way that we're pushing sex to the forefront, but you have a lot of female artists that really, like, lyrically are monsters. So who would you put in the top of the female game for you right now?
I'm biased, but I'm gonna say Rhapsody, dog.
You're not biased. You telling the truth. You like lyricism.
I love it.
And I wasn't even trying to persuade that answer in any type of way, because I've definitely jumped on here a lot of times, and the people have not heard.
I don't even know her. You know, when I leave the state and stuff, sometimes I'd be like, dog, I gotta put you on this because you don't even know. Like, what?
Absolutely.
Yeah, she dropped that album recently. I think she dropped it this year, but it's a great album. Go check that out.
Yeah, don't quote me on what the name of that project is, but it is absolute. She got Erykah Badu on that joint. I mean, some of the GOATs. She got Wayne on there. Yeah. Like, she rapping. Like I've said many times, I will put Rhapsody up against your top 5 dudes.
Yeah. And
she gonna run circles around them jokers.
Sir. Yeah, definitely like top female lyricists in my eyes. I mean, there's a few out there. But yeah, she holding that top spot for me.
Definitely. Okay. And what's in rotation? Like, what are you listening to when you just zoning out, you riding, you vibing? Give me 3 albums that you absolutely are going to play.
3 albums, absolute plays. Well, I said Distant Relatives a while ago with Nas and Damien. That is very good. I could listen to that album over and over and over. Very inspirational, very cultural, you know what I'm saying? Kind of blending things. Oh, let me think though. 2 more albums that really just, when I think about what influenced me the most, y'all, and this is gonna be way off, but 8 Mile had a soundtrack to that movie, and that album was fire. Like, it had Obi Trice, it had 50 Cent, had Jay-Z, basically all of D12, like, at the time, but like, you know, Proof was on it separately and stuff like that. That was a great album. That's the one that you put it in now and I'm rapping like every word. And that's crazy because I was like maybe 10, 11 when this come out. I don't relate to none of this, but that's how I knew there was something to flow, because
absolutely,
I didn't even know the words. It's just like, it's so easy to just keep on being like, there's a certain mistake when I speak that you notice it's only unique because it's me. My poetry's deep and I'm still me. Like, I don't know, what I'm saying? I'm just flowing. But I was like, yo, that's a thing. I gotta putting words together as an art. You know what I'm saying? So
this definitely just gave me a follow-up question, because you spoke about 8 Mile. I think a lot of people hate on M.
Oh man.
And they won't say that he is one of the greatest of all times. So what is your opinion on Eminem's race keeping him from being called a GOAT?
I think that's just a Negro conversation, but basically Eminem is the best rapper alive, like, that ever has been. Like, and I'm telling you, we know great battle rappers, we know great artists that have kind of came and gone, but come on now. Like, Eminem is 40 years old, ain't had a flop ever. Like, you can call Recovery a flop, but like, did you sell 10 million records?
I wouldn't say it was a flop. I would say, again, it's evolution, because to me, he gave me what he was going through at that time. Getting your life back together, getting off of the drugs and coming back to, taking care of your family. Not to say he was never taking care of his family, but, the problems and situations he had with his parents and stuff like that. Like, I wouldn't call it a flop. No. I would just say it wasn't the gimmicks it's the culture. It wasn't the gimmicks
that I speak on, like, more so than the artist, because like a lot of people wouldn't understand the culture of Eminem now, right? A lot of people love him now because they don't know who Slim Shady was. He just dropped an album called The Death of Slim Shady, and people are like, what is he doing? Like, what happened? You know what I'm saying? It's just like, have you heard the?
Did you go back and listen to? Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? You would have hated this man 20 years ago.
And that was what made him so controversial. He talking about getting up here and killing his baby moms and offing his mama and
who else
some bad stuff.
Like, let's keep it real. He did that for hip hop. Like, you can call it like the color thing where that comes in is like, we can't limit hip hop to race, because if you look in the history of things, hip hop, well, I could go way back, but basically hip hop was an evolution of rock and roll, to be real, because rock and roll was a evolution of the jazz phase and, diner time and stuff like that, where it was kind of street performer was coming to an end. But before that, what was it? You know what I'm saying? It was all street performing. You know, everybody in the streets performing. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't miss a show. And then before that, we get back to like just tribal things, you know, different things we have in culture-wise. But nah, hip-hop is worldwide. You know, I went to a Wu-Tang show recently. I was like, oh, I get it. Wu-Tang can perform in North Carolina still. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's, when you think about why can't I perform in these places? Why can't I perform? Because you're not welcome. Like, you're really not. Like, you got to think, this is a culture. You're in an area where most of the people got to agree that this is a good idea.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And then once that happens, you're only going to get a certain little chunk of those group of people. You know what I'm saying? And then you have to make sure that everything is perfect for these people so that word of mouth spreads. Hey, I went to the Wu-Tang show. It is for the children. Like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? You thought you was about to get a chain thrown at you. Like, no, it don't be nothing like that. And that's where I understood, like, making music for everybody. Like, people can be in different countries. They don't know English, but your flow got them, right?
Right.
So now they looking up words. What does this mean? What does this mean? Oh, that's what he said. Like, and then you messaging me about one bar that you had to take 2 hours to decode. You know what I'm saying? That's love. You know what I mean? You
Absolutely.
can't take that for granted.
Okay. And then last who you got question. Who would you say is the most underrated artist right now?
Dang, there's a lot of girls that's slept on. That's tough. Hold on, let me think though, because I'm gonna go ahead and say it, man. Dang, it's a tough one.
Like I don't think we've ever asked this question, but
wow. Who is really like slept on?
In my opinion, I would say Logic.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Logic is, and he recently released the I think it's Intergalactic or Ultra 85 or something.
Yeah.
But like for me, it's the whole. I think a lot of the new generation, they put together projects that feel like mixtapes. Yeah. And we know how big the mixtape culture was, that era of hip hop. But I'm still on artists that put together projects with interludes and like all of the songs kind of flow together. Right. It has a cohesiveness to it. And that, you spoke about that as well. So yeah, I think he's another that, because he's biracial, some people don't give him credit for his contribution overall to hip hop. So
it's just been the negative parts. Like, we know, like, you know, you working with media and stuff, the negative things are gonna grab the attention fast.
Absolutely.
You have to be trained to grab that as fast as possible to flip it into your favor. Because why people do that, right, is because they think they know everything about it. So they're like, oh yeah, like Logic's a horrible person because I saw this article where he was calling people niggas or whatever, like whatever, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's just like, you literally have a perception of somebody that you literally spent your time and energy reading about when you could have been listening to music, or you was reading this negative article, listening to this negative podcast while you could have been listening to an album, like getting your own perception. We are so trained, right, the program to take somebody's word for something. We really don't want to do the work that it takes to learn something, but we'll take what anybody gives us and claim it as our own. Gotta stop that. Like, if you're doing that, stop that.
True indeed. True indeed. So who would that artist be for you?
All right, I'm gonna go with and I might end up eating it later, but I'm gonna go with a girl, and I'm gonna just like she really been on a run. It's so tough because like this music that she putting out it's like this isn't her full potential yet. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like when I saw what she was doing, like basically from nothing to promoting your first song to putting the tape together to putting the album together. And like, I'm seeing she's doing everything you're supposed to do. Princess Pop That, Anicia. It's crazy.
I've never heard of her.
That's a wild pick, but like,
I've never heard of her.
Thing, shorty. Like, yeah.
I'm gonna have to look her up.
Yeah, she Atlanta based, but with, I ain't gonna say she with the Concrete Boys. It's like Caribou. Like, you ever heard of Caribou?
I have not.
Yeah, she hard too. I ain't gonna lie. Like, Caribou, that was a hard one. Like, I don't like putting y'all up against each other. Tia Corinne too. Like, Tia Corinne, she from here, but like, she hard. Like, she's popping. You know what I'm saying?
She
like,
is, absolutely.
Yeah, she don't get enough credit. Bump that. Yeah, she really don't get enough credit. She has put the whole Trey 4 on her back, you feel me, and took that shit everywhere. So shout out to that, because people really don't think of North Carolina as like, you know, we got artists that go on tours and stuff, but like, we literally are supporting a lot of artists around the nation.
North Carolina is a melting pot, an eclectic blend of cultures, races, musically. Like, yeah, it just seems like we definitely in the middle of the East Coast. So
yeah,
cost of living in certain areas is cheaper. We definitely have Atlanta potential. I think it goes exactly back to.
I think it's getting.
It comes back to that.
Our generation has to do it because, like you said, it's a cultural thing. I think even the reason race was a thing is because for so long, Black people in America haven't had anything of their own. That's just a fact. We ain't got nothing that we can be like, yo, Black people did that. We made this, it's ours. And we felt like that was hip hop, but we're not understanding, like I said earlier, who had the resources before then? And what was we doing with it? And then who had it before then? And what was we doing? You know what I'm saying? You got to really think about where it come from. You can't just be like, oh, you know, my daddy like breakdancing. Oh, my daddy was breakdancing in the 80s. It's just like, okay, but did you ever go to a show? Did you ever get him a box to do something in the garage? Like anything. We quick to jump on something like we know it, but it's just like, were you there? Did you do it? Have you experienced it for real? Because you don't know, you know? And people who do know look at you like you crazy because they going to let you talk. You know, you can walk in the room and be like, blah, 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 blah. The people that know talking to you is, like you said, putting that effort out, you already rejecting what God gave me to give you. So
right.
I shut up.
Nah, man. Dope interview.
Yeah,
so
man.
Before we get out of here, you got to tell them where they can find that music. You got to tell them about the current project.
All the links change. Yeah. So basically, you can find me on everything now, like Apple, Spotify, Deezer, iHeartRadio, any like listening platform under Supanova Newb. And that's SUPANOVANEWB. Like, and my next project, I just put a couple of singles out in the past couple months. One was called Once Upon a Trigger. The other one is Playing in the Rain. So y'all check those out. That's going to be coming on my next projects. The next one is called In the Club. This one's going to be real, like I said, real freaky, real sexual, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of consent. You know what I mean? It's basically me just expressing my, you know, sexual sides. You know, people don't like to talk about that. So,
oh man, sex sales. Come on now.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on now.
So I'm doing that, and I'm gonna be doing a couple shows. I'm gonna be going around North Carolina. So y'all reach out, man, if you want to be a part of it. I'm always down to collaborate. You know what I'm saying? I got my own studio. I do my own engineering, producing, mixing, mastering, anything you need. I can do it for you or plug you in. So just holler at your boy.